rabbit, run, rabbit, run, run, run. Run, rabbit, run, rabbit, run, run, run. Bang, 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 bang goes the farmer's gun. Run, rabbit, run, rabbit, run, 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 run.
Okay, so we're going to type Vincent Gallo, and we are joined by Nicholas. Would you like to introduce yourself, Nicholas?
I'm Nicholas. I'm probably a 9. Not quite sure. Probably bouncing somewhere between 9 and 7. Which I think the people who we're gonna talk about today are too, but I could be wrong. Some of them. But yeah, I think I'm a 9, wing 1, 974. Not sure about instincts yet, but figuring it out. So yeah, something like that.
Well, we're pleased to have you, and thank you for suggesting that we do Vincent Gallo. So yeah, Vincent Gallo, the artist, the writer, the filmmaker, the director, the actor, the avant-garde pig. If you want to get a real sense of here, wait, where's my thing? A little sense of Vincent Gallo, just for the audience here, whoever's watching, you can, like, immediately trigger by his name being on the screen. Yeah, this is his website. So he sells his sex with him for $50,000, but only
Wait, what?
your wife. Like skinny. Oh no, wait. No, he is taking black women now. Oh no, wait, it's that he won't donate his sperm. That's right. So he'll have sex with you, but you can only have his sperm for $1 million. And he maintains the right to refuse sale of his sperm to those of extremely dark complexions. So he's he's a bit of a, yeah, I mean, apparently he's got a giant schlong and women love it. Oh wait, I guess you can see it when you watch Brown Bunny. So
There's rumors though that's not really his though, but you know.
What did I get myself into today?
I know
What are y'all doing? So hold on. So he sells his body and for a much higher price his sperm, but only to people of certain complexional persuasions. Did I hear that correctly?
I'm sure he would turn down ugly women. I'm sure he would turn down all kinds of people. I'm sure he'd turn down a liberal, I don't know. So yeah, these are some of his movies.
Yikes.
He dated Asia Argento. He dated Chloe Sevigny, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a bit of an agent provocateur, so I think me and Nicholas are thinking he's something in the 478 try range.
And here, doing as much as I can to help the Republicans stay in office and keep pushing the presidency.
But this is your first time on the show, right?
Yeah, my first time on the show. I haven't really listened to the show very many times. No offense.
Now, Howard's kind of maybe helped publicize a feud between you and Roger Ebert.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how do you feel about that?
Well, Roger and I are we've made up now. So Howard's a good instigator. When was the last time you had Gilbert Gottfried on the show?
Maybe like 2 weeks ago.
Gilbert's good. Don't you think he's the most talented comic
Is there
in the world? Yeah. Yeah. Did you ever see his Gary Shandling imitation?
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
So you're not nervous at all. You don't do it pretty relaxed.
I'm relaxed, dude. It's just it seems like it's still yesterday. Because I think it only becomes today once you go to sleep.
You go to sleep.
No. So let's see.
This fucking music. Oh, this is a long one. Oh, this is like a thing with a bunch of clips of him.
Yeah, no, this is this whole Howard Stern interview, and it's crazy. It's the best interview of him for sure.
Okay. I will take your word for it. Good. Are you getting any impressions, Kier and Andrew? Just stop that. Kier.
Yeah. I mean, I don't trust them, but I've definitely got impressions. I mean, I would start with like 7 wing 8 probably, just as a look for one thing. And the fact he's on Howard Stern kind of pulls me. I kind of want to see him and Howard Stern interact because Howard Stern's a 7 wing 8, right? And he looks like one to me. And
he's also kind of like weirdly withdrawn in a way too, though. Like he talks a lot of shit like online, and it's like really funny and crazy and like drawn out for basically no reason. But he's kind of like meek and just like, oh, like it's just kind of funny. It like almost doesn't match, but like
he looks like a sketchy dude. Like he looks like he might be self-pres sexual.
Yeah.
Just as a random just hot take. He looks almost like he's trying to look like Charles Manson. It's sometimes.
Oh, he does kind of look like
He also looks like
you're right, he does.
He also kind of looks like, I mean, like a really, really grungy, like drugged up Orlando Bloom kind of deal. Yeah, he looks like a totally sketchy dude.
He is a sketchy dude.
But he doesn't look like, I mean, I said he looked like Charles Manson. He doesn't really look like a core 8 to me per se, but maybe.
Well, Charles Manson is a 8-wing 974.
Yeah, I know.
That is interesting.
So I see my own contradiction. Like I said, these are my first impressions. Like, what do you guys think?
I gotta watch more, but yeah, I think he's in the 4-7-8 trifix range.
Maybe.
Yeah, they fucked me.
This is not an excellent medium for
We
expression.
don't have free speech. We live under the Taliban-like regime of the FCC.
Yes, so.
I thought you had one more day where you could say whatever you wanted.
No, you can't say the F word, my friend. Your first words
You
out of your
missed that.
mouth.
Don't control me.
Sorry.
No S word, F word, T word. Woman's breasts.
You can't say
No.
What?
No.
What is
No.
this when he went to like Sirius Radio or something? This is weird. Didn't he have like people used to come on and show them his dicks and stuff? Like, he's really fallen. I don't know when was this recorded?
But he still says it.
2004.
Weird.
That's why I'm surprised. I was reading in the Times that you're a big Bush guy. I was like, you know what? I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. I know you're a big Republican guy, but I got to tell you, I've never thought it was.
The Times effed him now. He wrote this.
Oh yeah, why the Times F you?
they had this real phony baloney called me up, brown nosed me, and she kept telling me that I kept saying to her, listen, you know, I've been misquoted and chopped and edited a million times. I'd rather not talk to you unless you ask a question, and I'll think it through very carefully, and then I'll write down my answer. When I feel it's perfect, I'll say it to you out loud. And
That's
she
good.
said, she said, no, just talk freely. As soon as we're done, I'll edit the whole piece and I'll call you back, and anything that you said that I shortened or changed in any way, unless you're satisfied, I'll take it out. And I said, okay. And
you
they
fell
said,
for that?
yeah, I felt that. You know, you'd think, you know, the New York Times, I forgot this is, it was a memory from childhood where I thought they were a legitimate paper or something. I was in dementia. But they also said that they would use the photo that I supplied. So I give them the photo. I do this conversation with this witch, who, by the way, just as make a mental note that I've cursed you with cancer too.
Did you? It didn't work in your face, by the way.
Yes,
With
it did.
He's seeing forfix there. He also kind of does have a Marlon Brando-y kind of thing, but he's like a more tweakery Marlon Brando.
Yeah, I was just gonna say he's definitely got like a fucking like manic, just like posture energy that is just like fucking very just like pronounced. I feel like he's such a tweaker.
Yeah,
hmm
it's not like exactly like a when a celebrity complains that they got misquoted, he's like, I like hope she gets cancer, like. But that's partly where I'm seeing the 4 fix. I feel like he could be for second or something. I don't know.
He goes in. There's a whole part in this where like he said that because he cursed Roger Ebert with cancer, and that but he's also like weirdly sweet because as you'll see, Howard like tries to like surprise him and bring Robert on, but he's like, oh no, I actually love him now, and he's like, it seems like actually genuine, and it's kind of like you're like what? Because it's like he has like a weird charm to him that like he is like scuzzy, but in like a way like it's like funny.
That
I don't
probably
know.
does point to 7 again. He's like the 7s can get away with more stuff, I think.
I'm all in on 7 head center.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So he was in Buffalo 66 with Christina
Yeah.
Ricci. I never saw that movie.
He directed that too.
That movie's before my time, but I remember seeing that movie in Blockbuster back when they used to have Blockbusters, and I'd see the cover of it. I'd be like, this looks like an edgy fucking movie. Just with him like just staring into the camera. Like, I mean, do you guys remember that movie? Have you
Yeah.
seen that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, he's like
Crazy.
a provocateur big time.
Roger Ebert.
Yes.
Are you glad you wish cancer on him?
Rogers is a nice guy.
Yeah, I was gonna say
You
he's
know,
not a bad
He's a nice guy. And
You gave him cancer. I mean,
That's gotta be a highlight of your life.
I gave it to him, but I put him in remission.
Oh,
You
that's
did.
nice.
Yes, I
That
gave
was
it to
nice of you.
and in the end, it was good for him because the scare is good. He's eating better. He's changed his whole life. He's exercised.
This is probably not not good to put in a typing video, but I've had this theory. So I'm also a dark manifester. So that might speak to something in his strength. I've manifested crazy shit, like fires starting and like car accidents and like people dying, like that bullied me and stuff. I don't know if I've actually made them happen, but it's very strange. So I don't know. Maybe there's something in the 4-7 range that's like. Anyway, Kieran's face.
You don't want to know what I Googled.
Oh, Vincent Gallo's dick.
Yeah, I Googled the scenes from that movie. Yeah.
From the Brown Bunny.
Yeah. I mean, obviously I haven't seen that. I've heard of it. But yeah, that was my facial expression.
His movies are about like just like lonely, like almost like fucking like incel guys, which he's not really, but he loves to play like lonely, like fucking like taxi driver type people. And that's what the 2 movies he's directed are about. And that's just interesting because but he's also fucking just playing himself, but like the like most pathetic version, which is a really, I don't know, interesting thing to do, I think.
Yeah, that speaks to 4 image, I think.
Yeah, there's no, yep. I think we can lock in 4-7 pretty much.
But we can still talk about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because we're gonna have to figure out his core, because that's what I'm not. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I would toy around with triple reactive too.
Yeah, he kind of has a walking phoenix sort of look to him.
Yep. I would agree with that for sure. I think they do look somewhat similar. And I mean, edgy McEdgelord easily fits into triple reactive.
Or his head would be like 7 wing 6 maybe, and then
yeah, like if he's like you guys were saying you thought he might be a core 8. I mean, I'm not so sure about that, but like if he's a core 8, I would certainly want him to have like 6 because there's something like vaguely pathetic about him.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah, what he does too is he'll like on Instagram in like 2020 he like made a public reappearance, and he'll like write these fucking insane posts that are extremely controversial, like probably just for the sake of being controversial, and then he'll delete them like an hour later. So it's like he doesn't really, I don't believe he really like stands by the shit he says really at all, and he just says it like to say it because it gets a reaction more than him with like someone like Bret Easton Ellis. I feel like he truly believes what he says and like is passionate about it. I don't think he is like at all. I think he says it and like says it to get like riled up for fun. Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to show you this picture right now.
He looks sandwiched between a 4.79 and like a 7.48 or 7.84. I've noticed.
Hey, check out the image I just linked in the chat.
Yeah.
I mean, doesn't that look like it could almost be Joaquin Phoenix?
Yeah.
Yeah, but we don't want to go too much just off like his.
I'm just, it's a data point. You
could
can
be-
consider it for what it's worth.
What is Joaquin Phoenix like? He's social. He has access.
Sexual self-pres is like 6'4", I think. So,
Well, he has on here.
Yeah, because he deletes them. Like he'll post shit and then delete it immediately, like within a day. And at one point he was selling these crazy fucking pictures with like George Floyd's face on them, just saying like I remember what it said, but it was just like fuck like insane.
it was not good.
It was not good.
It was not politically correct.
No.
Nice.
Not at all. It was like I don't remember. I'll try to find some. But he's selling them for like $600 a shirt also.
He has a Vincent Gallo classifieds where he basically just posts shit that he wants.
Yeah.
You seen that?
Yeah.
Wanted Gibson vintage Super 400 guitars. Like,
But his like description on those are fucking nuts. They're like, I am the best collector of all time. Like they're just so he says so much for like, and it's just so wild. I'm sending.
I pay the highest prices, like $15 signs, all caps, all red.
I mean, I'm still leaning 7 head, but
yeah, I mean, I would.
Joaquin Phoenix is a troll too. Like that doc he made was fucking incredible. But
yeah, it was amazing. That's one of my favorite things ever. It's so good.
Here's him posing in front of a bunch of Confederate flags, like a, upstanding jackass. So he's doing provocateur. The thing for me that's worked the most, I think, is stacking first. Like if we can stack him, it's probably easier to tell. So he was leading with politics stuff with Howard Stern. I'm trying to find something on this. Like, why does he give a fuck about politics? Like, what does he have to say about it?
I don't think he does, actually. I think he's just being like, wants to be like an edgelord because it's funny.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not because it's funny, but
like he likes to get a rise out of people, obviously.
I think so.
Mm-hmm. He ran. Wait, hold on a second. Is this guy from Texas? No, it's a different Vincent Gallo.
He's from Buffalo, is where he's from.
Buffalo, New York. Okay.
Oh, and he's very like, if you DM him on Instagram, he will like most likely get back to you, especially if you say like insult him, he'll just like come at you. But he loves like young, like 20-year-old girls. And I've heard multiple stories of him sending like dick pics to like fucking like 23-year-olds. And like, yeah.
Maybe we can solicit one for the podcast.
Yeah.
So this guy's he's doing polarity. He's got to have sexual, right?
You did him a favor.
In a sense, yes.
Tough love. He gave you a horrible review for one of your films. I think it's for this film.
He gave me the worst, and that can you say prick?
Yes.
That prick sidecar roper than half a man. You know what he said? At one point, Roger said in the review, Roger said,
I'll read it to you.
Okay.
The film consists of an unendurable 90 minutes of uneventful banality. Imagine long shots through a windshield as it collects bug splats, Imagine not one but two scenes in which he stops for gas. Imagine a film so unendurably boring that at one
The fact that he's smiling listening to this review again is like so four-faced, I think. Like probably 4 and 7. Like he thinks it's funny that he's getting shit on. But
point when he gets out of his van to change his shirt, there's applause. Yeah. So you said Roger was a fat pig.
Yeah, well, all the fat bastards in the world, don't pick on me for that because it had nothing to do with fat people.
Okay, and then you said not only is he a fat pig, you said he lost 30. If he lost 30 pounds, he'd still be a fat pig.
Yeah.
And then you suggested that he gained 30 IQ points.
Yeah, well, you know,
Or he suggested that. I don't know.
Well, okay, here's so on his show, he says, this is Vincent Gallo should bill this as the worst movie ever made because people might want to go and see it as a curiosity piece.
Worse than Where Earth Girls Are Easy?
No, he said the worst movie ever made.
Okay.
So, and then Roper chimed in. That worm, I mean, he's a miserable.
You don't like him.
No, I don't like him.
Half a
So
man.
he came.
I'm reading an article that he wrote.
okay. What are your
This guy's definitely not self-pres blind.
Yeah.
I think I want to posit self-pres sexual is what his stacking is. Maybe he's self-pres social.
I would go sexual before I'd go social. I mean, he's doing social. He's fucking with people socially, but it could just be that he just doesn't give a flying fuck.
Some people wait for the blowjob scene in The Brown Bunny the way I waited to get to the lake when I was a child. See, he goes on some tirade about narcissism. He's talking about how he's a self-made man and just going on all these tangents. Common purpose of pornography is to enhance sexual pleasure or sexual fantasy. It's meant to be free of things like guilt, insecurity, anger, responsibility. It can also be detached from the struggles of intimacy. Okay. She chose to use imagery common in pornography, but placed these things in the emotional context, which included intense guilt, anger, regret, anguish, and confusion. It's difficult for the images, blah, 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 blah. Instead, the graphic images work better to enhance the discomfort of intimacy. Like maybe social blinds kind of reinforcement there.
I mean, I almost feel like his films feel social blind, but I haven't watched any of them for a while. Like if I'm just
Yeah, I think self-pres sexual seems good. So
well, that could be why if he ends up being a core 7, he's like not as animated.
I am not a provocateur, period. Okay, really? I believe in fairness, but I do not believe in equality. I believe in fairness, but I do not believe in equality. I reject the bastards who try to force equality and force outcome. I don't believe any activist has the right to speak for entire communities. This is like freedom shit. This is like 70 freedom shit.
Yeah.
Maybe. Possibly.
He loves to go on these fucking like insane rants. More on through like this, yeah. He randomly, this is about fucking the band King Crimson, but like the last paragraph, he just like starts a crazy rant about Harmony Korine. That's like really funny. Where is it? It's just
what
like,
does he say about King Crimson? I love King Crimson.
he just talks about, I don't remember. I've read this like a couple years ago. I think he likes them. But it like has it has nothing to do with what he's talking about. It's just like these like they're kind of amazing though.
This part, the only impact of Harmony Korine will have be on the lives of the girls he slipped drugs to, got stoned and raped while they were passed out. An autobiographical scenario he chose to include in his average screenplay, kids. I'll fuck your ass, Carrie Woods. mini dwarf rich kid from Nashville, like Harmony Korine, flies first class and moves to New York City's Soho in his plush, safe apartment, running around town quoting Godard with lines like "fuck the bourgeois." It's insincere, it's calculated, it's unoriginal, and it's the worst thing in the world. It's trendy. He already knows that he and his boring girlfriend, Connecticut Chloe Sevigny, are going to be on the cover of The Face. He knows he'll get his run, 70, whatever. He'll get his run at the Angelica and be hip in Japan, but no one will ever make an important film because they saw Gummo or Doug. I mean, this is kind of scathing social critique, though. So, but this is also for fixed, because for fixed with 7 is, and I think 8 probably is like people hate or stacking regardless of.
I think he probably said that because they get compared sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Which is
some of the same chicks.
yes, they both dated Chloe Sevigny. I think this was before he dated her though. Vincent Gallo, I'm not sure.
That is fucking funny. I hate hippies, especially pot smoking hippies. Socialism were the evils of the 20th century. I mean, this is all like pretty, even though he's talking about Harmony Korine, it's really just him flexing insults. This is the kind of stuff I enjoy reading.
Yeah, he's like so entertaining. Anything he says, I like immediately. I have like post notifications on him for Instagram, and he's like the only fucking person I have on that because he literally deletes them immediately. But they're amazing.
Yeah, I kind of want to read some of his stuff now.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of am getting fair, like a pretty. I mean, what do you guys think? Like, just not in order, but what about 7 wing 6, 8 wing 9, 4 wing 5? Just as what those are our options here. This is, I mean, that's kind of what I see here.
Do you think there's any possibility he could be core 4?
I
think it's possible. I'm not sure if I would think that it's likely, but
yeah.
I mean, if my personal, what I've said this a lot, which is that, if it's a fix, it's possibly your core type, meaning that anything that's a fix, you should be seeing strongly enough to the point where it could potentially be your core type. I've really only found that 4 and 5 as types or where that doesn't really fit, because I think a lot of time with 4s and with 5s, like the gut fix is pretty remote. But with most other types, like I can usually see how any one of them could give off enough of an impression that you could think, yeah, okay, maybe they're that. That particular type is a core type. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, I don't know. He's 7. Yeah, but those are the pieces of the puzzle. Like, I would look more at 8 or 7, probably 7. But first I thought he was 7 wing 8, but I think this guy's got some. He has some 6 fairness, even playing field.
That's what that is, though. I don't think that that's what he's saying, because I feel the same, and it's like yeah, sure, equality, what do I care? But it's when people are forcing it on you. Like,
yeah, it's freedom with a side of fairness.
Yeah, look at this quote. My
people,
parents were dishonest people. If it was my birthday, can you scroll down a little bit? That one. My parents were dishonest people. If it was my birthday, I knew my mother took me to Kmart and she stole my toy. She put it in the shopping cart and we'd walk out. I was raised with that.
Wait.
Yeah, that's like, wow.
Huh.
Support doesn't seem to mean anything. It's not like anyone really cares about me. I will say he doesn't tug at my heartstrings the way a bunch of the other 4 wing 5 cores do, but
there's something about him that's both like attracting and repelling at the same time. Like
there's your sexual instincts, probably. Yeah, I agree with what you're saying for sure. I'm sorry I'm not gay or Jewish, so I don't have a special interest group of journalists that support me. What a fucking maniac.
I have that magazine. That right there. That's funny.
Although, you know what? Like, Marilyn Manson does not inspire any sort of loving feelings in me. So it's more like just Johnny Depp and like River Phoenix and like.
You're being pushed away by the 8 fix.
But because 4 is like rarer, it's like you kind of have to really get a little bit impressionistic with it, but or subjective, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, if we continue with the idea this guy's 8 fix, and if we continue, I mean, Marilyn Manson's definitely 8 wing 7 fix. So it's like maybe there you're like being pushed away by that, which would make sense.
I find him really intelligent and funny. I just, I don't have like
Marilyn Manson, you mean?
Yeah, he's very astute.
Yeah,
I like
totally.
Observations about society and everything. I agree with like a lot of what he says.
Yeah, Marilyn Manson's cool.
I don't like his aesthetic, but I mean, I don't see him doing like 8 sort of big knee stuff though. Like,
Agreed. I don't see that in the driver's seat. It's hard for me to see that. Like he's unapologetically himself. And he's kind of like, well, he's clearly in no small way not giving a fuck. And, but I don't necessarily pick up on gut core type.
Yeah. And if he's SP Dom, that would give him a little bit of gut anyway. I guess we would have to start saying, do we see the wings? We'll have to start looking for the wings. And if it's like, it's hard because 7 and 4 are both frustration. They're both entitled.
And
he's got, and would it be 4 wing 5?
Yes, I think definitely. Like he sings the praises of River Phoenix. He's like in a bunch of photos with Johnny Depp. He doesn't have like an aristocratic aesthetic. He has kind of like an alien dirtbag aesthetic.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can tell he knows that too. Like he I don't know, like the fucking leather jacket.
It's not an accident. Yeah, it's not an accident at all. So if let's assume like if he's like 7 wing 6 7 with 8 and 4, if he's self-pres sexual, he'd be like a self-pres sexual Amy Winehouse.
Yeah, see that. He's cute, but it's not actually cute. It's
Amy Winehouse was cute. Right.
He's like handsome, but also disgusting.
He's contra. He's
yes.
I mean, I feel like self-pres is definitely has to be a big factor because he's very like kind of defensive, right? But not really. But like not defensive in a way, like unapologetically defensive. Like I don't know exactly how to explain it, but not in like kind of a pathetic defensive, but more of like a just like this is what I am. I guess that's not defensive, but there's something there that he's like seeping out of his fucking pores. Like he can't help but be like that. So I don't know. And he does make a lot of like, well, I'm like a self-made man type thing. So that seems kind of self-pres to me.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like pretty good about that stacking for him. And I guess like now it's just looking, is this image, is this head? I mean, he seems 70, but he not like doesn't seem boring.
But he kind of like detests a lot of like he just wants to be like contradictory, obviously. Like I feel like if it were in Hollywood, the like not wrong necessarily, but the fucking like uncommon thing to be a Democrat, he would 100% be a Democrat.
Yeah.
Just cause like 100%. And he's not like doesn't care about being Republican. He's just doing that because no one else is.
I know. Yeah.
Which feels 70 to me. That feels like a very like, but not in the but that for like charge of doing it because to get a reaction, like doing it the 7 thing of like being like, well, I don't care what other people think, like I'm right, but then like charged by like the 4 thing of like, and I'm like especially right because you're a fucking idiot or something, or like I don't know, I feel like there's that like that 4 charge of just like doing like the extra reaction thing of that, so.
Yeah, I guess if somebody told me in the corner of the room there was a pile of steaming hot excrement, I go over and look, but I'd be happy I didn't make it.
Do you agree?
But Robert would be lucky if he took a dump more than once a week.
Do you agree with this review of the film? I mean, because I've read quotes from you.
What film is this? Is this the Brown Bunny?
The Brown Bunny. You even said that you don't like.
Okay, I am kind of leaning 7w6 now that I'm really paying attention to his energy. I hate vibe typing, but yeah, to quote David Gray, 7w6 is the tweaker. And there's like a lot of tweaking happening right now.
Yeah, he's got total tweaker energy. Just that like this like I feel like he's like fucking vibrating. Like he's like if it was a clearer like image, you could like see him vibrating.
Yeah. And he's kind of got the voice where he started doing like that type voice. Although 4w5 plus 7w6 is pretty heady 4, so
Like the film.
That's another
Misquote?
It came out of, first of all, it came out of a British paper.
Right.
They're animals.
They just say whatever they want.
They're pigs.
It says you say this is a disaster of a film and a waste of time. I apologize to the financial people on this film. I assure you it was never my intention to make a pretentious film, a self-indulgent film, a useless film, and an unengaging film.
No, you couldn't have said What I said was this was my idea of a good film. I make a movie because I'm entertaining myself. I'm making what I think is a good film. If people don't like it, I'm sorry for them.
All film.
I'm making a movie to entertain myself. That's kind of 7w6.
Yeah. Joker energy.
Are films that directors basically direct to entertain themselves and hope that you will get in line.
Absolutely.
Right.
I mean, a director can see that he didn't go, like it wasn't, he had a vision and if the film didn't work, I would have worked on it until it did work. So it works for you.
Well, you came back.
It's the best thing I've ever done.
When you get, so you do love the film, and when
film's the best thing I've ever done of anything.
You got so angry with.
I'm trying to imagine a core 4w5 saying that.
Yeah, he's like, there's pictures of me at 6-year-old campaigning for Richard Nixon. Always been the same. Always I was against hippies. He told his young Republican club hosts. Loves President Bush and loathes self-serving lefties, particularly that commie crawfish Al Franken and that destructive hog Michael Moore. I mean, it's funny, but like, is this really like 4w5 is a core type?
I know Morrissey and Prince are,
like I said, not very reliable, but
like Morrissey and Prince, both 4w3s, they've said some pretty scathing, like I know Morrissey gets shit because they're like, he's a Brexit racist, blah blah, and he's got the
I could totally see Morrissey being a fucking Tory. That's yeah, that's funny.
He's amazing. Someone just sent me a hilarious interview of him shitting on everybody.
Roger Ebert, that I'll read it to you. And by the way, I am not putting you down for this. I have wished cancer on my enemies many times, Robin, as you know. Larry Mays now has a brain tumor, doesn't he? So it has worked for me as well.
Not to sound like the Prince of Doom or anything, but everything in my life that I wanted to happen, good and bad, has sort of happened.
Me too.
I mean,
we're both crazy.
Yeah.
And this is leaning 7 again, sort of.
Mm-hmm.
like that assertive like that sort of like I make magic happen just by thinking it. Like it's that magical thinking.
He created a Daily Wire movie called Shut In.
Oh yeah, I
Have you seen it?
yeah, I watched some of it with my friend. It's not good at all, but that's the first movie he's been in since like 2009.
He pops up after 10 years to be in a Daily Wire movie. Okay.
He plays like a pedophile. Like he literally plays like a left pedophile or something. I can't remember because it was like
Oh, really?
yeah.
That's great.
I'm gonna watch that.
Just asked in the chat if you're considering 8 for his gut.
Yeah. We're pretty sold on it.
Yeah, we think he's 4, 7, 8. We just we haven't landed on his core type.
I mean, we're like basically on 7, thinking we need to prove that he's not 4 or 8 at this point, is what I would say.
Wait a minute. Let me get this straight. You're saying everything you've ever wished on anybody has come true? If I've had a focused, long-term
Hate.
Uh-huh.
Where does your anger come from? Where do you think the anger comes from? The father, mother, what happened to you?
They were not the greatest.
Bad. Where'd you grow up?
In Buffalo.
There you
The
go.
whole city.
there you
The
go.
whole city
And-
is bad.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, because they're the kind of, can I say asshole? Can you say asshole?
You used to be able
A-hole.
to say that.
Yeah,
A-hole, yes.
They're the kind of a-holes in Buffalo. By the way, they hate their own. There's no homecoming there.
Nobody
trash it.
proud of-
The worst proud of me. The worst reviews of my life.
If you could say to Roger Ebert right now anything you want to, would you? I see he's on the phone. He's on the phone. Hold
I'm
on.
way over.
Roger.
Hey, Roger, how you doing?
I'm okay, Vincent. How are you?
I'm very good.
Vincent claims he did you a favor by giving you cancer because you are now a health fanatic.
And you've lost
You
weight.
lost weight, and in fact, it's probably the best thing that ever happened to you.
Oh, without a doubt. But unfortunately, Vincent's aim is very bad. We were talking in Chicago, and of course, the reports were that he texted me with colon cancer.
Right.
And what did you get?
That was totally incorrect. That was another example of the press being inaccurate. He gave me prostate cancer.
Oh, you did. So you were a little
It's
bit
only
off.
because I'm suffering from prostatitis.
Side of a barn.
It's only because he failed biology that he screwed that
No,
up.
it's because I came out of a prostate massage just before the person. I don't know if you've ever had a prostate.
I have. My
Right.
doctor has given it to me.
Okay, right.
Yes.
I was getting them once a week for a while there. Dr. Holden, because I had an enlarged prostate. I think because I held back once or twice or
You
something.
two have you two have since made up.
I mean, I don't feel like a 4 would be so cavalier with their image in this way. Like, this is very gross.
No, this guy seems heady to me. Like what I'm not really worried. It seems less likely to me that he would be 4 core or 8 core than that he would be like a 6 wing 7. Like, I don't know. That's sort of what's bugging me right now.
Yeah, I guess if he's a 7 wing 6, then he would have that extra counterphobic, like, fuck you. Because then he would be like, yeah, triple reactive adjacent.
But he just seems like to me like he's triple reactive adjacent or triple reactive period.
Yeah, I want to go 7 with him.
That feels right. I mean, it definitely doesn't feel off.
He's like quite fast too for if he would be a 4, like Vincent Gallo doesn't feel quite as curated. Like he's just sort of like saying all kinds of wild shit. And he's really pinging off Howard Stern. So
Yeah, I was gonna say that when Howard Stern said, he said something and he like answered, he said hate, and then Vincent Gallo was like, yeah, hate. Like that was like, oh, that's like I don't know what, like that wasn't very, like that was I thought it was kind of like interesting that he like, I don't know, he probably wasn't even gonna say that, but then he like went with that.
Yes, I think so.
But Roger,
made up.
you stand
Roger's
by
my idol.
But Roger, you stand by your review.
I'm not saying if I do or not. It's going to be reviewed on Ebert and Roper this weekend.
Now, Vincent does not like Roper. What did you like about?
No, I just did. That line, the steaming pile of excrement. I mean,
Don't you claim, Vincent, that you also wished cancer on the now deceased Gene Siskel?
Oh,
That you were responsible for his death as well?
I was joking.
You were joking.
I was joking.
I believe you were for real. I really do.
A witch.
Yeah. So you.
Actually, Howard, which is worse, to say that he made the worst film in the history of the film of the Cannes Film Festival, or to say it was a steaming pile of excrement? Which is the greater insult?
Well, Vincent stands by his film and says it's his best work ever.
I think the excrement line was
really getting to him.
Yeah, yeah, because that's the worst film ever made. I'd direct that. You know,
What is the worst film ever made, Vincent? In your opinion, if Roger says Roger,
Yeah, it's kind of doing like a lot of reframing at the same time too. It's like positive.
He does have like a playful quality where he looks down and laughs and he's like almost shy, like in a weird way, which is like doesn't make sense, but it's like a weird little kid quality of him. Like he's kind of like framed like he's like this, like his body language is just like, oh, Roger, like it's like cute in a weird fucking way.
He doesn't seem as solid as Howard Stern, who, I mean, EU has him typed self-pres sexual 7-wing-8. I've always thought Howard Stern was a 7-wing-8. Self-pres sexual makes sense. So if we go the theory he's self-pres sexual in a 7, and they also have, interestingly enough, Chloe Sevigny is self-pres sexual 7-wing-8. He seems more like pliable than Howard Stern does. Howard Stern seems more like, he seems less self-conscious, more assertive. I wonder what Howard Stern's full type is.
Probably Chad or something. Surprised.
Yeah, maybe.
So he's been absolutely deranged over the last 2.5 years. I was like, maybe Howard Stern's actually like a 6. Anyway, whatever. Well,
I don't think he's a 7-wing-8. I've always thought that.
okay, that's good. Okay, well, I guess then if we're thinking 7-wing-6 core, I mean, I think he must be image second in my opinion, but
I could get on board with that.
because there's a withdrawn quality to him. I mean, I know if his stacking's SPSX, that would be part of it, but he seems very image aware.
Yeah, he definitely seems at least very aware of like, even though it's kind of like bare bones image, like of just like dirty leather jacket guy. He's been very consistent with that for like a long time.
Yeah, he knows how to like pose for the camera to keep this sort of like aesthetic running. And it does add that withdrawn quality to him as well. If he'd be maybe more bombastic even, and if he was 8 second.
Yeah, I read something that he said about the film Goodfellas, where he was an extra in that movie. And he's like, any journalist that writes about me and puts it emphasized that I was in Goodfellas, like I was an extra in Goodfellas. Like if you emphasize that, you don't know shit about movies and you suck. Like it's sort of like the most like commercially successful movie that he's in, even as an extra, is Goodfellas. So he's sort of like, he's got this very like art house narrow, like, you know, most people can't like this, otherwise it's not real fucking art. Like he kind of has that exclusionary like image like fairly prominently displayed as far as I can tell.
Yeah. And then 8-wing-9 makes sense too, because he feels kind of
gives him more withdrawn. Like if he had 8-wing-7 with, he'd be like real buzzy. He would seem more like, I don't know, going for people's throat, I guess. More like manic assertion. And he just seems kind of like, you know, blocky.
He doesn't really like fight with people. Like he's not challenging. Like even on like text or like when he writes things, it's just him like speaking to like nothing. He's not very like combative with Howard Stern. He's just like, yeah, like he like builds with him off of shit. They don't really like he doesn't fight, which is interesting. Not that like he has a reason to right now, but he could. Like I'm pretty sure I read that Howard Stern was like fucking with him when he brought Roger Ebert on, and like that was like a blindside, but he handled it like great, like very like well.
Yeah, because 7-4 is just like, none of this is real. Who fucking cares anyways?
Yeah, I mean, like I'll just say we could, if we wanted to spend like a lot more time on this, I would want to look at 6 wing 7, 6 4 8, and maybe like 7 wing 8, 7 4 9, just to kind of like completely lock it up. But I mean, yeah, this is definitely self-sexual 7 wing 6, 4 wing 5, 8 wing 9, very much like consistent with what we've been seeing the whole time, I would say. It just the only, I mean, like I say 6 is bugging me. Just the comparison, if you look at it like the Joaquin Phoenix, like it just kind of, or no, not Joaquin Phoenix. Yeah, Joaquin Phoenix. That is bugging me. But other than that, I think everything makes total sense to me.
Joaquin Phoenix is definitely more serious and intense. Like he's got much more of an intensity. It doesn't feel playful. Like he goes kind of wild, I think, in his roles, but when he's like in interviews, even like he used like his, I don't know, whatever award he won to kind of have a soapbox moment about like, I don't know, being a vegan or something. Like he sort of has more of the 6-y, I think, with 4.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're right. Like now that I'm looking at now that I'm like, if you look at photographs of Joaquin Phoenix and this Gallo guy head to head, I wonder if there are any photos of them too.
I mean, there's kind of a vote for him being like adjacent to his type, though.
Yeah, no, I can totally see that. Yeah, no, Joaquin Phoenix looks more friendly and nice.
So Vincent Gallo's final taping is SPSX 7 wing 6, 4 wing 5, 8 wing 9. Yay.